hit the stop button again. All right, let's go from there. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Glenn with Glenn's Garage. We're in the process of starting to do our final torque downs for everything. New timing belt has been done. New cam seals have been done. New water pump. New timing belt tensioner. New timing belt idler pulley. New crankshaft seal. All those are in a couple of previous videos if you want to take a look at those. We're in the process of doing the final torques and double checking everything. The water pump's been on, so we're just double checking torques in a crisscross pattern. 18.5 foot-pounds is the recommended torque for these bolts, and I'm using a small 3/8 drive torque wrench and a deep socket. That gives me enough room to be able to clear the pulley, but and also sit inside the fender. So this bolt that we're working on down here is actually going to be by feel. Let's see if we're on it. Easier to see when the timing belt is off. All right, let's see. Where is that guy? Oh, there he is. All right, let's see if we can get. So if you've made it this far, obviously, torquing these is going to be the least of your worries. Okay, that one was definitely just a tad loose. Okay, so we'll go from there. We'll come up to the top, and there's one basically right underneath this housing bolt. So we'll go ahead and lock onto that. Okay. Okay. It is braking on that. All right. So now from that one, we'll go down to the bottom. Okay, that pulled. And then there's one that is underneath the pulley. Let's find where it is. Okay, that one. Which one did I do earlier? Okay, so down to, okay, that one. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 7 there. Where's number 6? Is, okay, that one. Okay, so it is basically underneath the pulley, like almost directly underneath. Okay. Go ahead and guide with my finger. Oh. Okay. Come on. not landing on it. Where is it? Let's see if I can. Oh, there it is. All right, we're on it. Okay. Good. Excellent. All right. We'll come up and we'll do, there is a bolt right here in the upper left corner, right in front of the timing belt. So go ahead and get onto that one. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay, that is giving me a break. Okay. All right, now we'll proceed coming around clockwise to this bolt that's right under the idler pulley. That one we can see. And again, these are just double checking. I'm just double checking these. Easier. Okay, sorry about that. Obviously easier done with the timing belt off of the car, but in terms of just want to make sure everything is buttoned up nice and snug. Okay, that one definitely needed just a little bit more. All right, we've come around. Now, we're going to, let's double check this one, right behind. Timing belt, right about the 9 o'clock position. Okay, that one definitely needed a little bit of a snug. Okay. Okay. Then the last one is right here on the top. Double check it. Okay. Let's get something on it. There we go. All right, and that one's good. All right, so we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 underneath. So those are all good. We've tensioned the center bolt of the idler. Yeah, let's get you a better view. All right. And again, if you're just picking up, 2006 S60 T5 white block motor. This is a 12 M12 right here on the idler. That is a 15 foot-pound. And then the mounting bolts, which are Actually, that's the only one that mounts in there. Then, of course, just to take a look, our temperature setting is between the two notches, or the two tabs. Okay, and it's looking right in the middle because we're about 70 degrees. It's a little cooler today here in San Diego County. And then idler pulley, bolts, one here, one underneath. Those are 18.5 foot-pounds as well. Center bolts for the hubs, 120 Newton meters, 120 Newton meters. And then the caps, which are the T55, which we're going to do next. It is recommended that for these caps that we don't rely on the timing belt to hold them in place. Unfortunately, I showed this in a previous video, the sprockets for so the timing belt sprockets do have openings here, and there's 3 of them. There's one down there, and then one is right there. All right. You can get a fan clutch tool, use the smallest diameter. I do not have one, and I haven't grabbed one to be able to utilize it. These hubs are only getting torqued to, and we'll double check it in just a second here. All right, so we'll pull this back so we have a good shot of the hubs. Our hubs cap covers, okay, the center cap is 26 foot-pounds or 35 Newton meters. 26 foot-pounds. So we'll crank up to 25 and 26 foot-pounds. Okay, this is going to be our T55. Okay, so we should be able to fit in here. Yep, sorry. Snug that up. Yep, still in good shape as far as being able to see. I have taken this, this is the ECU and the TCU cover box. I did show how to remove that in a previous video if you need to, and when I was doing the center bolt, because I have a 3/8 drive on my T55 Torx socket and bit, and also this is the torque wrench that I'm using right now is just a smaller okay. But if you have a 1/2-inch drive to the 120 Newton meters, I actually have a larger digital torque wrench, and with that we used needed the extra space here because I had to put the Torx bit, then I had to put a step up small from 3/8 to half drive, and then use the half drive, so I was able to move this box. All right, one thing that comes into play, and it's going to come into play here as well, is moving this plastic wiring harness cover. And in previous videos I've shown, again, there is a tab, a threaded tab back here around the back side. Okay, let's flip you upside down real quick. Yeah, let's see if we can see it. threaded tab right here. Okay. And let's see if we can get a good angle on it. Okay. This is just press fit, so it just wiggles off. Okay. And then there's one underneath, down underneath my finger as well. So let's go ahead and reposition here real quick for this. And we'll show you how to get this off. Actually, the setup I had the other day worked pretty good. So let's go ahead and get that set up real quick. Okay. Let's see if we've got clearance here. All right, let's see. I think we're down in here. Sorry, that repositioning the cameras just to be able to make sure we can see everything, or at least give you kind of a good shot of this. All right, so what we're going to do is this is the connector for the coolant level sensor. Okay, reservoir tube out. We'll go ahead and wiggle these off, and then you can just lift this. For the actual torquing, I removed the crossbar, the strut brace crossbar, and then this was able to lift up and over the strut brace. You have to be careful, don't break off the tabs. But right now, all we're doing is we just need enough room to be able to get the torque wrench in there. We'll drop it in from the center here, so I don't have to mess with the crossbar anymore. And we'll get this in. And hopefully have enough. Now, you know what? It's just gonna be that way. So, pull these two bolts. Show this for you again. All right. Coolant tank out of the way. Backside there. I'll bring this guy over just to sit on top, just so it's out of the way for now. All right, let's go ahead and do this one more time. We'll push out towards the center of the engine, keeping it straight. Make sure we don't break these tabs off. We're gonna just stretch enough to lift. Okay, the tab on the back side runs into the VVT hub. Once you get the top off, that one comes up and over the top, and we can go with that. All right, let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, now we're up over the top. This will make it easy for us. And again, we're at 35. Just double check our torques. Center cap 26 foot-pounds. All right, so it didn't change, obviously. Just wanted to make sure we had the torque wrench set properly. All right, and that gives us enough to do our torques here. All right, there we go. Let's check something here real quick. Okay, as I was trying to torque this, the timing belt was starting to move. The sprocket was starting to move and jump. It hasn't jumped the timing belt teeth yet. Okay. Where's our... All right, okay, but it was starting to. So this is where that... This is where that's gonna hold in. We definitely do not want to have the timing belt. We don't want to have the tooth of the timing belt come or have the sprocket turn and jump the tooth. So we're gonna pull the cover here real quick, get that out of the way. And I am going to use, what am I gonna use? Let's see. See if this works. I have one of the bolts from the hub. Okay, we definitely do not want this to move. And that was the caution on the directions, was that you don't want to rely on the timing belt to hold the hub in place. I'm putting extra pressure on the back side of the belt here to make sure. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see that, but the cam, the VVT hub did want to pull on that. But let's go ahead and we'll put our cover back on. Okay, we did hit the torque. I did hit the 28, sorry, 26. Center cap 26. Yep, 26 foot-pound, 35 Newton meters. So that did, we're successful doing that. Okay, timing cover's back in. Okay, now I'm gonna lift up on this plastic housing. Now, with it lifted, I'm gonna rotate downward and then have to start moving in towards the engine and down as well, so we don't break a tab. All right, and then we're down. Relocate those two and go ahead and snug it back in. Okay. Check our timing marks one more time. Okay, here we are on the tooth and right up to, again, just to the front side of that. And of course, the timing mark on the front is getting a little dark. But there is, there. One thing we can check real quick, and come back to our Reluctor wheels. Let me get the crossbar out of the way. Get Move back into place. All right. Put those two bolts back in. Okay, those are good. All right, let's grab our 10 millimeter. And what I'm going to do is I'll show you real quick on the Reluctor wheels. Bring over here real quick. All right, we're just going to work on the Reluctor wheel on the rear cam, just to double check everything. The cam has 2 slots in it that are 180 degrees apart. Basically, I'll show you here real quick. And then there is a locating notch for that Reluctor wheel. I'm gonna flip you upside down. Sorry. So again, let's get, all right. Let's see if we can, oh, light's getting a little low, but we can see the 2 notches for the cam, and then down below it there's that 3rd notch. Okay, what we're looking for is we're looking for the mating surfaces of the cam cover and the head seated there, and we see that these are still basically perpendicular or parallel, sorry, parallel to the head mating surfaces. Let's see if we can find that surface on here real quick. Zoom out. Here's the front side one. Okay. And the mating surface is getting hard to see. Get a light, but the camshaft did not rotate or change with any of that torquing. All right, so the Reluctor wheels, since the timing belt is held in place, are at 18.5 foot-pounds. And they are a 10 millimeter. And in the previous videos, I have shown that there are the 2 slots that are across from each other, and then the 1 key right there. Okay, you see it? And again, those go in according to their location. All right, so the 2 slots go in, and then that 3rd tab goes into that opening in the cam, that groove, if you will, at 5 o'clock location for the exhaust cam, and on the intake cam, that groove is up at the 2 o'clock position. Okay, so I'll come back over, get our T55 off. We'll go ahead and use our 10 deep. Let's back off to 18.5 foot-pounds. $15, $16, $17, $18.5. Okay. And we'll just tighten. We'll get these guys torqued in real quick. And then down here, just push down on the turbo air inlet tube. Whoops. Switch hands. All right, there we go. All right, Reluctor wheels are torqued. All right, starting to run a little low on light, but let's go ahead and do our 2 caps. The exhaust cap sensor. All right, 12.5 foot-pounds. And I believe they're a T40. So we'll take one out. Okay. And I'll take the other one out. Left hand. And then I'm gonna clean up this camshaft area once I get the cover on. Okay. Oh, there we go. A little light just came on. So, all right. So grab our T40 real quick. I believe the front's a T25. Let's check. Yep. Torx T40 on the back. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Reluctor cover, or the cam cover. It does have these 2 metal dowels, okay, in the center there. So these are going to go on. And this cover goes. Let's get it painted properly. There we go. All right. Okay. And we get the top one on. Now there's 2 different holes for this to go in. We're looking at, I believe, we'll double check this, so, but the cam cover goes, I believe, back into the short bolt hole. Okay. There's one. Started with the hand tightening. Now, if these are off, obviously it's going to not send the correct signal to the ECU. So I'm going to need to double check to see about these in terms of the actual mounting, because I have it in the short, but it might be in this big housing. I have to double check. I'm going to go back to when I remove these and take a look at that video, and then we'll update on the next video. Okay. I know for sure that on the front cam cover, let's go here. There we cow. Okay, so we're going to double check this. So I'm going to wrap this video up here as soon as we get the front cam cover on. Sorry, intake. The intake rear cam cover and sensor. Okay, so that's 40. And then again, not going to torque those right now because I'm going to confirm when we took it off. But I do know on the front side that it is definitely the smaller or thinner part of the cam cover that makes that the mounting screws go into. All right. I was hoping to get an earlier start today, but just didn't get started. Okay, that one is out. And once we're done with these cam covers, I'll come back on the next video. Then we're going to mount the engine, the top engine mount. There's also a plate that goes right here, mounts in the side. Then the mount fits inside the crossbar mount, and we'll get all that torqued in as well. So get this out without losing it. All right. Cam cover up. And on this one, it definitely goes through there's a smaller bolt hole. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get over there. Yeah, I think it's got it. Okay. There is a larger and a smaller. These are going to go in the small locating hole. Okay. So we'll get this inside the harness. We'll get it rotated around. Okay. And there's little locating tabs as well for these covers, just to make sure they're seated properly. Okay. So that one's in. All right, happy. And then we'll get this one in. And again, the mounting hole. It's this small. There we go. Smaller of the two diameter holes. Okay, and that makes sense with the bolts. Odds are there's two of them, primarily because they could probably be used interchangeably. I can't confirm that, but that is just a gut suspicion. I do know that on this front cover, sensor and rear cam cover, that there is part of the wiring harness that is here, and that actually rotates around. Can't see it right now, but I'll show it before we finish off the video. But that actually locates and press fits into the larger hole. Okay, so those are on but not torqued. I'm going to double check the location. I know the front is correct, but here's what I was looking at. Let's come down and look real quick. All right, where's our, so there's our thread, and then there's this hole here, and that actually corresponds with this little nub. and it's basically a zip tie. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, checking it out. The next part, we'll get the cam sensor covers, cam sensors and rear cam covers torqued, and we'll confirm the back location of that one. Then we'll get the mounting bracket on. We'll get the engine torque bushing mounted to the crossbar, everything bolted down into the housing and into the block. And then from there, we'll be back over to start working on the accessory belt drive, the harmonic balancer, of which I actually need a new one, and I'll show you that as well. We'll need to torque the cross members as well, and then we can do our finalization. We'll get the new belt on for the accessory drives, power steering, air conditioning, and alternator, and then we'll proceed with getting the cooling fan in. We'll tighten up all the coolant hoses that need to be done since those are new, and we'll give you an overview and a rundown of the new radiator that's in here. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great week. Be good. See you soon.